But first tonight, it would be hard to imagine a life with more peaks and valleys, more triumphs and setbacks than the one lived by Cidny Bullens. Bullens, who has lived in Maine off and on for decades, tells the story in the new memoir, Transelectric: My Life as a Cosmic Rock Star.
Many people will remember Cidny as Cidny Bullens. He transitioned just over 10 years ago. That transition is also a major part of Cidny's story. But when we sat down, we began our conversation with music and how Bullens, who was a backup singer for Elton John, among many other jobs in the music world, went to Los Angeles in the 1970s with about $100 and a head filled with dreams, but no real plan for how to get that first big break.
I mean, I had vision, I had dreams, but in terms of the particular things that I did, like crashing the party with Elton John, for example, I didn't think about it first. I didn't go in and say, I'm going to crash the party. I was just looking at him across the room. I went, I'm going in.
It worked out because very quickly you became a backup vocalist for Elton, touring with him, performing in front of 60,000 people in outdoor stadiums.
It was a dream. It was a dream. I wasn't the focal point. You know, I had all these kind of side things happening. So I was able to observe Elton being on stage and the adulation coming his way, but being a part of it at the same time. So it was kind of a unique situation for me. And I went on to, from there, obviously, to have a solo career, too.
You wanted to be that kind of a mega rock and roll star, and it never worked out. And yet, you never could walk away from the music business. This was absolutely part of your soul, part of your being. Music helped keep you alive.
And it still is.
Bullens befriended and performed with some of the most admired singers in music. Bonnie Raitt, Emmylou Harris, Lucinda Williams, Freddie Mercury, shown here on the left, and many, many more.
A central part of the story that you tell in the book is how even from a young age, you didn't know how you fit in terms of gender, sexual identity. Your own mother said you were born wrong.
God love her. Yes, she did. I'd love to ask her, which I never did because she died before I transitioned, what she meant by that. Like, what was going on in her mind when she said that. But no, I knew when I was 3 years old that I was in the wrong body. When I knew I had a body, I knew I was in the wrong one.
Let's talk a little bit about your marriage and your 2 children. Short story, you married a gay man, Dan Crew, whom a lot of people know in Maine. You had a deep affection for each other, but it was not the happiest of marriages because you didn't belong with each other.
You know, it's interesting that you say you didn't belong with each other. I think we were destined to be together. I really do. He knew I felt like a man in a woman's body. I knew he was gay, but we did have, I think it was more than affection. I think it is a love for each other. It was hard. It was hard for both of us because we tried to fit a square peg in a round hole. And it worked on some levels, but didn't work on a lot of levels. But we stayed together for 20 years.
When you were married, you had 2 daughters, and you loved them both dearly. The younger of the 2, Jessie, died of cancer at the age of 11, and it was for you a truly shattering loss. What was it like to write about that?
I just sat in my office and cried a lot. I knew that I had to be honest. I knew I couldn't gloss over what it meant to lose Jessie. I couldn't gloss it over in the book. I couldn't just say, oh, I had my 2 children and then my daughter died and do something. I knew I had to dig into it because it's such a huge part of my life, still today.
In 2011, Bullens made a momentous decision. She was ready to transition and start living life as a man.
This week is exactly the 12th anniversary of that moment when I said, oh, I can do this.
And once you made the decision, you were pretty firm, although you later vacillated. But when you initially made the decision, you were decisive and enthusiastic about making a transition.
It was like the heavens opened up. You know, I think it was like crashing the party with Elton John. I couldn't not go in, you know? So I couldn't not do it. It was that chutzpah, I think, that came back.
The last chapters of the book tell the story of your transition, your marriage. How is life now?
So my life is a life that I could never have imagined. Could never have imagined. I told you I just got a new record deal. Like I just signed it, you know, not long ago. Who knew? So the book, new music's coming. I've got 4 beautiful grandkids. I've got a great wife. I got a great life.
It's an extraordinary story, and it's extremely well told. The book is really good. Among the fans of it is Carl Bernstein of Woodward and Bernstein of Watergate fan.
Oh my gosh.
He called Sid up. Sid answered the phone in the frozen food section of the supermarket, and it was Carl Bernstein telling him how much he loved the book.
Oh my God. Well, the whole time this story is going through, in my head I'm thinking, but wait, there's more.
Oh yeah.
But wait, there's more. I mean, he's lived like 7 lifetimes in this one life so far.
Personal story, rock and roll story, story of loss, grief, and bereavement, and so much more. Again, the name of Cidny Bullens' memoir, Transelectric. You can find out more about the book and Cidny in the 207 section of our app and website.